Hi, this is Trey Passer, and this is my movie review of Sherlock Holmes: A Game of Shadows. This is the sequel, of course, to the movie that came out a couple years ago with starring Robert Downey Jr., Jude Law. This movie stars also Naomi Rapace. I think that's how you pronounce her name. She's the girl that was in the girl with the dragon tattoo. Those series of movies. She's in this movie, and also Jared Harris, who plays Professor Moriarty. And this story is basically about Holmes, trying to figure out what Moriarty, who's supposed to be his greatest, his greatest adversary, what he's up to. Basically, he's trying to catch Moriarty in this plot. And the story is basically about Moriarty, Professor Moriarty, played by Jared Harris. First of all, let me just say, I absolutely love this movie. This one I think is a vast improvement over the first one. Um, and one of the things I think that makes this movie a lot better than the first one is, you know how Holmes is supposed to be, he's a detective and he's supposed to see things that other people can't see. In this movie, they actually show you those things. You know, they show you exactly, and they go to Guy Ritchie. I have to give him credit because he goes through and whoever wrote this, I guess, they show how everything Holmes sees when he walks into a room, when he's on a street. He's like he observes everything and they show it in slow motion, so you can see everything that he sees, and it makes it fantastic. And then they go through it. But anyway, and another thing that makes this movie good, the actor that they picked to play Professor Moriarty, Jared Harris, who I was reading about on the internet. He's of course the son of the late great Richard Harris, famous British actor, excuse me, and he's absolutely fantastic as Professor Moriarty. He matches wits with Robert Downey Jr.'s characters, Professor Sherlock Holmes perfectly. And there's actually 3 scenes in the movie where he matches wits perfectly, um, and it's just like I said, it's just fantastic. Like I said, the first scene is like when when he goes to meet Professor Moriarty in the college that Professor Moriarty teaches at, and you see that they're going back and forth, and the dialogue is written such a way that when you see them, they verbally spar with each other back and forth, giving subtle hints and stuff back and forth, and it even gets to the point where Professor Moriarty tells Holmes, "Are you sure you want to play this game? Are you sure you want to play this game?" And Robert Downey Jr., he has a look on his face like, and then he goes, and then Professor Moriarty says, "Okay, then um, then Watson is fair game," basically threatening Watson. And of course, Watson in this movie is getting married in this movie, of course. And let me just say, it's just fantastic. The interplay, the chemistry between Jude Law and Robert Downey Jr. is just fantastic. And all throughout the movie, you just see it, and they have great chemistry. And I don't know whoever cast them originally, it just worked out beautifully because in this movie they're back and forth. The back and forth banter between them is just beyond excellent. And basically, this movie is about Professor Moriarty. He's sowing the seeds of anarchy. Basically, he's between France and Germany. They have all these anarchists. I guess they would call them anarchists back then. They were blowing up things, having explosions. France is blaming Germany, and Germany is blaming France for it. And Robert Downey Jr.'s character, Professor Holmes, not Professor Holmes, Sherlock Holmes is trying to figure out, what his game is, what Professor Moriarty's game is. And of course, his game is actually, he even explains it to Holmes towards the end of the movie. He explains to Holmes that his game is not to start war. He wants to be the guy that sells the bullets. Basically, he wants to be the person that sells the arms to the war, because early in the movie they find out, of course, that Professor Moriarty acquired all these. He has a factory where they sneak into, where you see all these bombs and bullets and guns and stuff that they bought, and of course they're planning on selling it to the countries once they start the war, of course. And like I said before, and there's 3 great confrontation scenes between Holmes and Moriarty, and I think I talked about one already, the one where they're in the college. Okay, and the second one is a part where he's basically torturing Holmes to try to get information from him, and they're bantering back and forth, and it's just like I said, the chemistry between Jared Harris and Robert Downey Jr. is fantastic. And there's another scene between the two of them at the end, towards the climax of the movie, where they're bantering back and forth, over a game of chess, believe it or not, and it's just the interplay between them is just, it has to be seen to believe. It's just fantastic. The dialogue between them and the acting between Jared Harris and Robert Downey Jr. is just fantastic. And then again, they do this thing where they show the slow motion where Holmes is figuring out what he's going to do to Moriarty, and Moriarty is figuring out what he's going to do to Holmes, and it's absolutely just fantastic to watch and see. And it's just, I love this movie. I mean, I think, like I said, it's way better than the first movie. And like I said, and including Moriarty in this plot, I think it was a stroke of genius. Well, not a stroke of genius. I think it's just a natural thing that they was going to do anyway. They had to bring in Professor Moriarty eventually, somewhere in there, since he's Holmes' greatest adversary. And like I said, Robert Downey Jr., fantastic as always, and Jude Law, great, and Jared Harris, like I said, he's just absolutely fantastic as Professor Moriarty. And okay, I highly recommend this movie. And let me just show you this. That's my ticket that I went to see this afternoon. But like I said, I would highly recommend this movie. Also, Rachel McAdams is in this movie, but her part is not as big. And I don't think, I think normally I say would spoil my review would spoil. I don't know if I said that in the beginning of this, but I'm saying it now, and I'll say it in the description when I upload this video. Because when I do my movie reviews, I always put spoilers in them. Because like I said, when I'm trying to describe them, I just can't describe them without telling you little things about the movie. Okay, so I would like to put spoilers in just that way, so anybody who wants to read my review knows that there's spoilers in the title. I put that in the title. Okay, but like I said again, this movie is just absolutely fantastic. Robert, it far exceeded my expectations. Like I said, Robert Downey Jr. is just everybody knew he's a fantastic actor anyway. And the story and Guy Ritchie's direction is just great. And like I said, I would highly recommend this. And if I was to give it a rating, I would give it 3.5 stars. It's just fantastic, and I can see this movie, they're going to make a sequel to it because it's just fantastic. And the way it ends, or the way it supposedly ends, they set it up for a sequel, obviously. And I think this movie deserves a sequel because it's that fantastic. And like I said, the interplay between Holmes and Moriarty, the interplay between Holmes and Watson, and just the the action sequences are just fantastic. There's one on a train with them, people trying to kill Holmes and Watson, and it's just, which is absolutely fantastic. And again, once again, they show you how Holmes is always thinking ahead, and how they plan their escape. It's just absolutely fantastic, and just a wonder to behold. And Naomi I said her name again, Naomi Rapace. She's like I said, she's the girl with the dragon tattoo, and she's decent in this movie. And she's more than just, like I said, a damsel in distress. She actively helps them, Holmes and Watson, get to the heart of the mystery and stuff. And like I said, I would highly recommend this movie to anybody. So let me know what you think. If you're going to plan on seeing this movie, whether you've seen it already, whether you like my review or not, feel free to leave comments below. And this is Trey Pastor saying so long and take care.